What's going on, guys? It's Coach Steven with 15 Points of Tennis. Now, what makes us humans special is our ability to throw. You would never really hear someone say, wow, you know, that monkey over there has an amazing fastball. And that's because as humans, we're the only species in the animal kingdom to have a rotator cuff. Now, the first couple of videos we covered accuracy and consistency on the serve, but today we're going to talk about adding this big joint being the shoulder to increase your power level and stability to add to the already good snap that we accomplished in the first couple parts. So guys, if you are a hard case at really getting this shoulder engagement on your serve, look, I had zero engagement as a junior player growing up, so there's definitely hope for you out there to make improvements in this area. So we're going to talk about the basics, then we're going to move on to common pitfalls and of course covering how to not get injured in the process. Now the goal of the shoulder is to get full engagement in the joint loaded. So to covering the basics, it's important that your shoulder goes back, up, and around. So you're making this circle right here. So the back part is like if I were to elbow someone behind me, okay? Up is like if I'm doing a deltoid raise in the gym here, okay? And so you have to get acquainted with this circle. Now, we're eventually getting into this back scratch position where you can see my elbow facing the sky. It's important that as you make this circle, you see the direction of my palm, it's changing here, all right? And that's where a lot of the power is going to come from compared to making a circle like this. Now, whether you go more circular, which I prefer for rhythm, or whether you go more of a linear take back, it's going to be equivalent to, you know, drawing a bow and arrow where you want to feel this stretch and this load here. Now you can also take your tossing hand and invert it, you know, from here to get a little bit more coil. Again, I'll show you from here to here. All right, but essentially that's what you should be feeling in the windup, because that's where we're going to unload and get maximum power. Unfortunately, I don't have some, you know, secret original drill to really help you with this, but try to get this smooth and muscle memory in your shadow swings first. And two, I believe you can just serve from the trophy pose, really focusing on the arrow-like stretch and feeling the unwind in the coil of shoulder, elbow, wrist. And to reiterate, please do not, when you are incorporating new technique, do not try to swing too hard and use too much muscle, because that will actually slow the pace at which you can recalibrate and resync something new into your swing. You need to let the coordination reset by taking it a little bit easier on the acceleration. Alright, the next part is it's very important to understand that, you know, just generally speaking, okay, when I get in my trophy pose, you can see my right elbow facing the ground, and let's call it the tip facing the sky. Now when we go from here to here, which I call the back scratch position, now you can see the tip facing the ground, my elbow facing the sky, right? And of course that's part of making this circle here. Now what's important to keep in mind for your flow and your rhythm, right? Because it's important, like, we're not just using the arm when we serve, we're eventually going to incorporate the whole body. As I make this move, I do not want my arm making this entire circle by itself. Okay, this looks very extraneous in terms of motion. The initial turn from here to here is created from my body and my rotation. So again, watch, my arm isn't going to move. It's just a simple turn of my body that starts the drop of the tip from up to down. Because I want to be using my arm at contact. I do not want to be using my arm before contact like so. So when you're serving, it should feel that you can load and drop and unwind into this drop very quickly. Say you're hitting an overhead, you know, same thing. The snap should come very fast. It should not be like a slow motion like so. Sometimes I get carried away when I'm recording, but I just want to make this point very, very clear for this section. The movement I call the flip is what I'm going to play in slow motion. That move right there, when the elbow and racket direction, right, facing the sky and ground, switch. Again, I'm going to play the flip one more time in slow motion. So this move right here is not created from the arm, it's created from the rotation. So you actually have to turn your ankle is what starts rotation, is what starts the movement of the racket, and then the arm can finish. Alright, and when I put it all together and lead with the rotation, you can see the flow occur. So another drill you can do is make a circle behind your head with your racket, and feel as you make this circle, drop, 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 swing, and you can feel sort of the flow and the weight staying in the tip as you make the circle behind your head with the racket into the actual swing motion. Then hopefully, even with an abbreviated motion, you can keep the same rhythm going from the trophy to the back scratch to the acceleration. Now let's move on to contact point. And I've referenced this multiple times in previous videos, but it is especially important when it comes to the serve, so it'll be a recap. All right, so in our contact point, which is our position of strength, it's important you do not want your traps right here to be lifted up. Right, once I lift my traps up, I lose my core strength. All right, I want to feel my core strong at contact, so it should feel strong down here. Now, while I should feel my muscle down here work at contact, I want to make sure my chest is nice and relaxed. You'll see a lot of players like tense their chest up like this. And once I tense my chest up, you can already see you'll feel like your ribs sticking out sometimes. It makes me look like a robot. I won't be able to swing my arm with speed. So again, it takes a lot of muscle control to be strong down here, relaxed here in the traps. But again, in the past videos, the shoulder should be very strong and to stabilize, and you should feel the snap at contact, all right? So that should be the contact point. And same with the forehand. You know, I don't want my chest tight like so. The chest has to be relaxed so the arm can snap through. Now, this problem often stems from the common advice of to hit the ball at the highest point possible. And I always say you shouldn't be hitting the ball at the highest point possible because now I'm reaching. I want to hit the ball at the highest point where I'm strong, which is right here, right? Not there. And for this, the analogy I love using is that of a punch. You know, if I'm throwing a punch and I'm, overextending my shoulder, okay, this is not going to have a lot of strength versus boom, right there. So this shoulder, I know it's not the scientific term, but it's like out of the socket, in the socket. And same with the serve. It's like out of the socket, in the socket. The shoulder should be, again, deltoid should be up here, but it should be in the socket so everything can snap and stabilize properly. Last thing to note when it comes to stabilization is on the follow through of my serve, it's important that my lats, my lower traps, they all work to squeeze and fire properly to counterbalance the force going forward. If I don't have any back muscles, then my serve finishes like this and I'm off balance. And I'm going to be reaching and the shoulder is going to destabilize. Again, to keep the shoulder, again, locked in the socket where it's strong, okay, and powerful, these lats and back lower traps need to stabilize so the snap can occur. All right, and that is important on the follow through. So again, a lot of pieces controlling this shoulder. It's not just the deltoids rising here, but it's also, again, lats, lower trap. It's a little bit more of a integrated system when we look at the muscles and making sure your chest again is relaxed at contact. From 2 videos ago, I did this isolated snap drill, but I want to look at the contact point. Now, to me, this looks pretty good. You see me not contacting the ball at, quote, the highest point, so the trap looks in a comfortable position. I'm not sticking my ribs out or anything, so I can assume, hey, the chest is pretty relaxed. I can really snap my arm through. Now, if you actually pause some of the other serves in this series of serves where my toss is a little bit off, you're going to see some of these things occur. So the toss is extremely important when it comes to keeping the right posture and finding the right contact point. Now, last thing I have to say about this highest point thing. If you were throwing a ball, you would never see anyone throw like this completely over the top, with their trap up. This is a very uncomfortable position to release the ball for a throw. And I'm no physio expert, but clearly this is going to put a lot of stress on the system, on the joints over time. Likely it's going to lead to injury. Throwing, even though it's an overhead motion, is actually slightly side-armed, okay? Slightly side-armed as the most comfortable position. Now on the serve, if I'm serving upright, again, I should be actually side-arming the serves ever so slightly, like here, you see? Now the thing is, unlike just throwing, okay, when I serve, I'm on my toes and I'm tilted back. So even though I keep my sidearm position here, the tilt allows me to snap the ball over my head, right? But I want to keep this comfortable position for my shoulder and my rotator cuff. So to find this comfortable shoulder position, and we're going to use a drill, and this is actually designed to help you practice your snap, but it ends up being also a great way to find a comfortable position for your shoulder to enable the snap, is to, up close to the net, try to snap the ball over the fence. And I was actually trying not to hit the balls over the fence so I don't have to pick them up. But if you can do this comfortably, you're in good shape. Now, how do I find this position? Well, from referencing, I believe, my first couple of videos of the series, let's say, you finish your bicep contraction here on the finish of the serve, we're going to first raise your shoulder to a comfortable position, again, keeping the trap down, right? I think for me, it's about right here. Then I want to extend my bicep or my tricep, okay, and then undo the pronation. So let's say I'm about here. Then once I add my tilt back and my toes, now this is my kick. This is my snap. So again, we have my finish here. Shoulder as high as I can go, that I'm comfortable. Extend the elbow. Just redo the pronation, and then I have the tilt, right? So something like that, and then it looks like I can create the snap over the top, but I'm still slightly side-arming the ball, again, because I get in this tilt. And we are going to discuss lower body in the next couple series of the serve. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will catch you